So, welcome to our tutorial on using the DMPmetal predictive method at the CyPred workbench. DMPmetal is a predictor of metal binding residues in proteins. So here, if you've arrived at the workbench landing page, the first thing to do is to select your data input type. DMPmetal works on protein sequence data, so we would select that. This is pre-selected when you arrive here, however. Scrolling down, we can unselect the CyPred secondary structure predictor, and scrolling to the bottom here, we have DMPmetal, our metal binding site predictor. We need to provide a sequence, so I've just pulled a sequence out of UniProt. This is plasticyanine A from Populus nigra, the black poplar tree. So I'll just copy that sequence and paste it in here. Let's have a DMPmetal test job name, and then I'll just leave behind my email address here at UCL. So I'm just going to click submit. DMPmetal uses a neural network to infer which residues might be metal binding residues. This is relatively quick, and we don't have a sequence database search step, so we can just wait a couple of seconds to see how this see the predictions. So our predictions are complete, and here on our sequence plot we are annotating the residues that we believe to be metal binding. So the burgundy colour here indicates these 4 residues that the DMPmetal method predicts to be metal binding. At the bottom we have a results table, and the results table shows us for each residue what class of metal binding residue we have predicted. So here, residue 106 is a copper cation with a p-value of 0.98. That's a subclass of metal cation, so it also gets this prediction here, metal cation. We can go and examine the CHEBI database for each of these entries and find out what these are. So we can explore CHEBI to find out about the different copper cations. Once we're satisfied with the results in the table, we can move up to the top here to our downloads panel. In the downloads panel, we have a link to get a zip file. So the zip file just gathers together all of the possible download files and puts them in a zip file for your convenience. We can download the job configuration file, so this tells us which steps, which different programs we ran to make the prediction. And then the DMPmetal download, so these are the different results files. So let me just mark that as kept. We can open these files using a text editor of our choice. I quite like Visual Studio Code because it's a nice fully featured text editor. Let me just close that panel. I can close this panel. So let's open our file. So yeah, so the different steps. So the CSV file of the different steps. DMPmetal is just a single step deep neural network that predicts the metal binding residues. There's really only one step. You put the sequence in and you get the results out. So we just mark, this is step number 0. The software was DMPmetal and it's version 1 of DMPmetal. The results files itself, let us open the results file. So these are all the different possible predictions that it makes. So the CHEBI ID, so the different entries in CHEBI, so different cations, different metal ions and so forth, the residue position, and then a confidence. So this is equivalent here, this is the p-value here in this table. And essentially, we threshold what we show you in the table, so you get all of the high confidence and low confidence results here. So you can explore these in case you feel that something that's a bit marginal, maybe has a confidence of 0.5, you might want to include. But we report all of the high confidence values, so you can see those here. Excellent, so those are the results for DMPmetal. And that ends our tutorial for DMPmetal.